that in like 1 minute.
All right, guys.
So you
Of
added
he's
up.
listening here.
No, when I said something relating to the listening here, you were. I think you wanted
Then
to
I'm
say-
lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll say something about the blend, don't worry.
Okay, no problem. So do the intro.
Listening.
Should I start? Hey guys, you're welcome to our live Facebook event. This is Muse Girl Convo. This is the first time ever, and then we are going to be speaking about mental health on the topic, the social media, the new form of rejection. I am Zuleha Dobia Abdullah, and I'm joined by two lovely, amazing, and beautiful women, Nana and Natalie, and a wonderful gentleman, Mr. Emmanuel.
That's interesting. I actually didn't realize that it's an NNE.
Yeah. So let's kick it off like this. Today is the World Mental Health Day. Mr. Emmanuel, the theme is young people in the changing world.
Yes.
So how does this relate to the millennial girl and social media? Why should we know this? How should we know this?
Okay, so first of all, I would want to take off like this. I want to thank all of you at this very moment. When we talk about mental health, we often have an issue where we need to bridge the gap of the youth understanding why they need to get to know what mental health is. You see, for us as Ghanaians, we are a religious country. So at the end of the day, most of these issues come up with our parents, because our parents will take the young ones to the hospital, and most of this issue comes up with the religious people, because most of our clients and our patients end up with them. Most of the things we all often see on the streets, but believe you me, when it comes to Accra Psychiatric Hospital, Pantine Hospital, and even Ankafo Psychiatric Hospital, we have a lot of young people there being admitted. You see, right from the ages of 15 to 29, they are the vulnerable people who often commit suicide. We have depression, we have anxiety. You see, once we are growing, we are growing, getting matured, and adolescent growing. Now we are in our 28, 29 and growing. See, we face a lot of things, right from relationship issues, right from within the church, how the church sees you, amongst your peers, what they think about you, in the social media environment, how we perceive things, how we receive things, how we adore ourselves, even in that space. It affects us a lot, but unfortunately, nobody's paying attention. Nobody's paying attention. So we took the focus this time around, and we are saying that the youth, the adolescent, the growing adult should be sensitized, should come to the realm where they have knowledge about mental health themselves and how it affects them. Yeah.
Okay. So speaking about anxiety, what is anxiety and how does it differentiate from depression?
Okay, so if I was an illiterate, I would have said that anxiety is the opposite of depression. But let me take you to the clinical field. Anxiety is a continuous state of living in fear. So the person is perceiving that something is going to happen, or the person is perceiving that in the next minute, in the next second, if I don't do this or I don't do that, something may happen. So we have so many types of anxiety. Now, depression is a continual state of mourning. So some philosophers have said that once you go into a state of being sad, having a sad mood, continuous for a period of time, now it begins to distort your living with others. You can't conform to normal social events. You can't go anywhere. You will not bath. You will not brush your teeth. You will not dress. You will not eat. It is becoming an issue. So that is depression, and for that is anxiety.
So if you are just joining in, this is a Facebook live conversation on the Muse Girl Convo, and we are speaking about mental health on the topic social media, the new form of rejection. So Madam Nana,
Yes.
you have issues with past mental health. Can you tell us what it was all about, how you got to know about it, the precautions you took and all that?
Okay, that's a bit exciting. I laughed because I actually didn't know what was happening at the time. That's because I had lost my memory. I didn't know what was happening in my environment, even to the point of me recovering from the very first month to second month. I actually couldn't tell what was happening. So everybody that came around had to inform me. Did you know you were doing this during that period? Or did you know this was a reaction you were given to this situations? So I wouldn't be very vivid with a full definition of what really happened. I was told that out of the blue, I kept quiet. I went mute. You asked me a question, I'll mind you. I was in school, and then all of a sudden, I was nowhere to be found. Only for them to find me here in Accra, from Ho all the way to Accra. And then even speculations were that I had been raped or something was going on in my system. So quickly the doctors assisted my family to take me to the psychiatric hospital. Upon getting there and testing whatever happened, they realized it was typhoid that I was going through, and had moved from stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, coupled with malaria, which had given me a high fever. And because I was going through the final year preparation for examination, so the brain was super stressed, so it had to shut down. I don't know what happened, but I can only tell how the stigma after the experience began. It was torturing, because you'd be in your dormitory and people would just knock. Some wouldn't even knock. They'll come stand at the door and peep and see if she's really mad. Because the rumor is that she's been to the psychiatric hospital, and because of that, she has a mental problem and she's mad. And because I was acting in school majority of the time, people thought maybe it was an act I was just putting up. But hey, it wasn't. The truth of the matter is, after a while, through counseling, through therapy, through medication, I got better. And then today you can't say that I have a mental condition whatsoever, because I have taken it upon myself to actually educate people that it doesn't have to be that someone should go through a situation like that before they see the psychiatrist. Because every individual, and however you are taking your life situation, from family to friends to religion, just like our brother was saying, is facing one challenge or the other. The fact that you're not off with your clothes and on the streets talking on the top of your voice does not mean you're not facing one challenge or the other. So the stigma is something that is killing people. Trust me, people have gone through situations and they've killed themselves. I am just in a lucky situation where I had maybe family comfort me a bit, and then I had told myself again and again, and my doctor, Dr. Mohammed, he's no more at the psychiatric hospital, I understand, but he made me understand that it's not something I caused myself. So I don't have to blame myself, but rather help other people to grow. So I have gone ahead. I even started a foundation just because I believe that people should hear the conversation, right? And get that to check themselves every now and then. You don't have to wait till you're married. Like they say. And it's a bit offensive to even refer to them as smart people, because nobody is smart. We are only psychologically imbalanced at one point or the other. So yes,
psychologically imbalanced.
Yes.
Well, I think, thank God, you had help from the beginning. But what about stages where we didn't get the help we needed? We don't even know there is something like that. How do we approach such situations? You don't know you are actually getting to that point. What do you do? How do you know somebody is getting to that point?
Okay, if I'll chip in, I'll say that my condition didn't just begin from the time I lost my memory. Because right from secondary school, Form 1, I had a series of attacks on ulcer, malaria, and what have you. And I think the attention given to it by the general medical practitioners was not enough, because they couldn't tell whether it was fully gone or it wasn't there. Because every time I was in the hospital to do my checks to make sure that I was fine, but it was recurring. We should tell them that probably there's something increasing or not. So I think sometimes is the awareness around the environment we find ourselves. The general medical practitioners are not doing their work probably very well. I don't know, but from my angle, I think that's what was going on. Because for typhoid to live with me for that long, and I was not like someone that visits the hospital maybe annually. I was in the hospital virtually every 2 weeks or 3 weeks. So they should have found out that there was something really happening until that thing happened. So I would refer to that as maybe negligence of they not realizing that maybe malaria would, because some of them even some of my nurses yes because some of the nurses, after finding out that I had gone through that situation, were surprised. I'm like, hello, it's your work. You should know that from malaria, if it's not going away and there's something else happening, then it's increasing to something else. So you could have advised from that stage, and probably we should see a psychiatrist, or it's probably going to happen. So treat it this way or that way. But they were very concerned.
You see, honestly, when it comes to identifying depression or anxiety or any form of mental illness, first of all, we look at some variances. For example, one, usually when anybody is suffering or has begun to suffer from any mental illness, there is a separation from the family. Whether anxiety, whether be depression, whether be eating disorders, anorexia, nervosa, bulimia, nervosa, whatever, they tend to separate themselves from the family. So, you know a friend who usually you be, hey Charlie, what's up? What are you going? And but now the person is just quiet, withdrawn. So there is withdrawn. Number two, it affects their activities of daily living. They will not bath. They will not eat. They wouldn't like to talk to anybody. And so that's another second sign you must be looking out for. Number three, there's liability of moods. You know that this, like for example, this beautiful lady here, when I came out, made some few observations. Okay, like we are there.
I'm just hearing what he's gonna say.
I made some few observations, right? I know she's a nice person, but she would like her things to be done appropriately. She's a bit of an attention seeker. And she would like, for example, if you are dating this lady, you would need to give her attention. Like even when she's finished dressing, like you would want this guy to say, "Then am I looking good?" And like, "Am I feel like that?" You know, that stuff like that. So at the end of the day, if I know my baby girl is like that, okay, therefore, once she finishes dressing and she's not telling me anything, she's just there, just quiet. Obviously, there's something wrong. So there's liability of mood. You know this person to be a talkative.